Is it too late to start investing in your 40s? Because when it comes to investing, time is a crucial factor because the more time you have to invest, the more time you have to compound interest and more time to build your fortune. The best and ideal time to start investing is as young as possible. And if you're 20, please start investing today. You probably don't have enough money. You probably think that with little money you can't get far, but that is a mistake, a huge mistake. Small amount of money will get you a long way, and even if you have only $100 to invest every month, please do that because you don't have a lot of money, but you have the huge advantage of being young and time is on your side. So start investing. Now, in this video, I will show you the difference between starting at your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and then I will give you a step-by-step guide to how to build your portfolio and how much money you actually need to invest when you're 40 so you can retire comfortably. Hi, my name is Raz, and this is my financial channel. Please hit that like button because it really helps me push the video. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I put a lot of time and effort making this video. I want to continue making more and more videos, so all I ask in return is you hitting that like button. Thank you, and let's start. First, I want to show you the impact of time. And I will take the most simple example of $10,000 invested when you're 20, 30, and 40. Before we move forward, I just want to say I'm not a financial advisor. It's always recommended to advise one when planning for retirement. I'm just a random girl on the internet, so please take my advice with a grain of salt. Let's take a simple example to show the importance of time in compounding interest using the compound interest calculator. Just Google it, it's very simple to find one. And in this example, we suppose you invest a lump sum of $10,000 into a high interest saving account at 10% interest rate at the age of 20 with no additional deposit every year or every month, just one time deposit of $10,000 at the age of 20. And after 45 years, at the age of 65, you'll compound a small fortune of $180,000, over $180,000 just by investing $10,000 at the age of 20. Now, the next scenario, you do the same thing with $10,000, but you only have 35 years of investing because you start at the age of 30. And in this scenario, you get $326,000. That's a big difference there. It's a difference of over $550,000, more than $500,000 just by delaying your investing in 10 years. That's a lot of money. And now to the worst case scenario that you start at the age of 40, then you have only 25 years left of compounding interest. And with 25 years of investing, you end up with $120,000 at the age of 65. That's a big difference. We established that starting investing when you're young is better than starting investing in your 40s, but starting in your 40s is better than not starting at all. Okay, you still have time to plan, and you still have 25 years till your retirement. Now, how do you plan for your retirement? The first step is a decision you have to make, and that is how much money you're going to need for your retirement. And that money, I mean how much money you will need on a monthly basis. What will be your monthly expenses? And this is a very hard number to calculate. My advice to you is to be rational, to be realistic, and to be very, very conservative. Don't aim to a high number. Don't hope for $20,000 expenditure every month. This is a very high goal to achieve. So be realistic, please, and be also conservative. Don't think that you can live off uh, $2,000 a month, while today you live off $6,000 or $7,000 a month. Figuring out your number, your monthly expenditure, is very individual because it depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to have in your retirement. If you want to have a rich retirement, luxurious, and travel a lot, like me, because I love traveling and I hope I can travel till the day I die. So, in that case, you might want to work harder today and maybe take a few side hustles and save most of your income, invest it, and live a frugal life, and invest all that money for your retirement. On the other hand, you may not want to sacrifice so much in those years, and you can look at whatever savings you have right now, invest it, and maybe live more modestly in your retirement. When you calculating this number, please make sure you're taking into considering two factors: costs that you may not have today but you will have in the future, and other costs that burden you today but you will not have them in the future. And the first type of cost is the cost that you don't have right now, and you need to anticipate them, such as, of course, healthcare, your insurance, your life insurance, healthcare insurance are gonna cost more, are gonna be more expensive. You might spend a lot of money on medications. You may not be able to work as hard. You may want to have a caregiver, or will force to have a caregiver, or move into a retirement home. So those are costs that you don't have right now. Plus, you may have children. You may have children that you want to help. You want to help them with their first home or pay off their student loans. On the other hand, we have costs that you have today, and you won't have them when you retire. Hopefully, the kids will be out of the house. You'll have less mouths to feed. You won't need to pay for daycares or schools and etc. And you might not work anymore, so you'll only need one car, for example. So you won't have to pay for a second car insurance, less gas on daily commuting to work. So you have to balance those costs that are going to rise and the costs that are going to decrease over the years. Let's see how much money you need for a comfortable retirement. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average expenditure is almost $51,000 per year from the age 65 and older, but it sits on $56,000 a year from the ages of 65 and 75. So the first decade of retirement is a little bit more expensive, but we're going to stay on the conservative side as usual and take into consideration an annual expenditure of $56,000 throughout retirement. As we assumed, most costs peak at midlife and go down in retirement. Those are costs such as food, housing, mortgage interest, utilities, furniture, and transportation. Other costs, such as healthcare costs, including healthcare insurance, drugs, medical devices, and etc., are going consistently. It's interesting to see how the average annual expenditure varies over a lifetime. People under the age of 25 spend about $32,000 a year, and that amount increases over the decades, and it peaks at the ages of 35 till 54. That is due to the heavy responsibilities of having kids. You pay for a bigger house, a bigger mortgage, or a bigger rent. You have two cars, maybe. You pay for daycares, school tuition, maybe even college tuition. But I also think that one of the reasons that the annual living costs are increasing is because the annual income is also increasing and people max out their income. You can see how the annual income starts at $32,000 a year for people under the age of 25, and that amount is identical to the average expenditure at the same age. The average annual income increases over the decades and it peaks between the ages of 35 to 54. And at that age, you're expected to earn almost $110,000 a year. After that, as you get older, you make less. The next step is to figure out how much money we need at the age of 65. What is the needed nest egg at 65 that can support us throughout the retirement? After that, I will show you how to reach that nest egg. Okay, so the Bureau of Labor and Statistics gave us the number. The average annual expenditure after 65 is $56,000 on average, or 4,700 a month. And now we're gonna calculate the needed nest egg at 65, assuming we're depending exclusively on that stock portfolio with a return of annual 6%. Why 6%? You probably heard of investors that have returns of 10, 15, or maybe even 20% annual return. Investors like Warren Buffett and maybe your next door neighbor. But again, I just want to be very conservative and invest in a simple vehicle, the S&P 500 index fund. And that fund had an average annual return of about 9% over the past 90 years. So if I adjust that return with inflation of 2% a year, I'll get about 6 to 7% return. The last data point is the calculation period, and that is our life expectancy. So the average expectancy in the US is 79 years. But I'm gonna totally ignore that piece of information because I want the retirement plan to work, whether you die at 79 or whether you live to be 100. Okay, I don't want you to wake up at the age of 92 just to find out that your retirement fund dried out 13 years ago. So we'll just go with 95. We'll just go with 30 years. Prepare yourself to be amazed. You don't need millions of dollars to retire happily. The nest egg is $800,000. And I, of course, calculated this before, and you will die at 95 and leave over $70,000 for your kids. The next step is building a nest egg of $800,000 in 25 years. Now, the path to this nest egg is very individual. It depends on how much money you have saved now or how much money you can deposit every month and how much money you can reinvest every month. So to figure out your way, it's again very simple. Just go back to the compound interest calculator. If you don't have any cash at all, if you don't have any savings right now, then you'll have to be very frugal, work hard, maybe take some side hustles and save aggressively. And you'll have to invest. Let's see, base amount is 0. You'll have to invest $1,200 every month to get that nest egg of $800,000. Another possible way is if you, for example, have some savings, maybe you have 100,000, then you don't have to invest so much every month. Just $500 of savings and investings every month, and that will get you just about to your mark of $800,000. Maybe you can um, you know invest $1,200 every month, and that will get you to a very rich retirement with more than $1 million. So it's, you see, it's a very fun exercise. Just tweak with the numbers. It's a very fun way to visualize your path, to visualize your goals and your retirement. That was just a fun exercise of planning for your future retirement. I haven't factored in many important factors such as inheritance. You might inherit your parents or your spouse's parents when you're older. I haven't factored in any other income from maybe a real estate asset that you bought and that brings a nice income every month. I haven't factored in your income after 65. And if you go back to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, you'll see that the average annual income at the age of 65 and over is actually $50,000 a year. So that is a big factor of that you can rely on in your retirement. And as usual, it's not recommended to rely solely and exclusively on one source of income, not in your 60s, not in your 40s, and not in your 20s. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a lot of value, and it inspired you to save and invest money. It was not at all an easy video to make or to shoot. I was called twice from school during the shooting of this video. So please help me by hitting that like button on the bottom, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great week.